Hello and welcome to another episode of The Conversation. Today's conversation is about single men's approach to dating. Before we talk about that, I want to introduce who's on the panel today. To my right, I have my man, Jamie Jelks. And to my left, I have my man, Will. And we're going to dive right into this conversation. Let's talk practical.
Okay.
Will, are you in a relationship?
Yes.
You are in a relationship. Jamie, are you in a relationship?
No.
Not in a relationship. Okay. Now, Will, in your relationship, how much of the stuff that you're talking about is actually happening?
A lot of it, but, for a minute, I was expecting these different qualifications, I guess, to be what she embodied.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, it was coming from my past hurt.
Yeah.
So these qualifications, in my mind, I was like, well, you got to do this, got to do this, got to do this.
It was to protect yourself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Never once realized that because I thought I was in the right.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, well, I got hurt before, so I know you got to do this because this is what happened, and keep bringing this past into this current relationship. And it just completely, I started seeing stuff going the wrong way because of me.
Yeah.
And I thought it was her.
Right.
But in reality, the mirror was saying, look, dude, this is you.
Yeah.
And it took a lot of counseling, other men to actually be like, look, this might be you, bro. You know?
But on the flip side, it's like when you come to that realization, like, look, I have an issue, I'm dealing with this, dealing with that, you really have to be open to kind of letting somebody work through that with you.
Yeah.
Because that's something we all struggle with, I think, because when you're hurt, you close up. Like, you don't want nobody to know what's going on. You don't want to talk to anybody. So to actually get help, it requires something of you. And we're not, as men, we don't want to ask for help. Like, I don't need help. Like, I got this under control. And a lot of times we don't. We just have to act like we do.
That's real.
Yeah. When you approached your girl, you did approach her, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
When you approached your girl, you saw something in her that fit your criteria, your list. What was your goal? Why were you doing that? Where were you trying to go in your approach to her?
I think honestly what it was, just to be completely honest, was the point of me not wanting to be in a relationship at first. Mm-hmm. I just wanted to be single because I was like I'm not having fun being single. At the same time, I'm too afraid to be in a relationship because my trust ain't there yet. Yeah. So what really started building my trust was when we started hanging out a little bit. Not even on the level like I want to be with you, but just like, dang, she's actually fun to be around.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And actually being around her and starting to see more of who she was, it started coming out because we weren't trying to impress each other. Mm-hmm. We were just being friends, and we just enjoyed being around each other.
So there was something that was being fulfilled. There was some sort of gap, let's say, that was being fulfilled by her company.
Yes, very so.
Jamie, you said you're not in a relationship, right?
No.
Okay. Is there? Okay. Why are you laughing?
Because I was laughing at his response.
Oh, okay.
Because like when I approached like relationships in the past, it wasn't like I didn't think about it. Mm-hmm. It was like, you're cute, I'm cute, we should like be cute together type thing.
Did you just say you're cute?
No, but you know what I meant though. It was like an attractiveness. It wasn't like I'm gonna do this purposefully type thing. So it was like, after we kind of established I'm attracted to you, then we start to build this relationship afterwards.
Okay.
And a lot of times, those are relationships that didn't really work out because the foundation of it was like.
Very good. So there was no real strategy and point.
Right.
There was a list of ideas. This is what I want. This make me happy. You kind of got some of that. I'm gonna talk to you.
Right.
And let's see where this goes. Right. Kind of throw it up in the air.
Yeah.
See where we land.
Exactly.
So at any point for either of you in any relationships, at any point was there a consideration of, I'm going to get in this because I can be a blessing to her life and I want to be a permanent blessing in her life? Has that ever been a thought in a relationship?
Yeah. For me, it has. I think at one point I did get into like a serious relationship, and I feel like my goal was like to be the best man I could be for that woman.
Okay.
And to be a like an added value to her life, like help her go to the next level, as well as put her in a space where she could also help me at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
But then in reality, like, yeah, I did those things, and it wasn't always reciprocated. So in the end, the relationship did not work.
Right.
And so I think that's one reason why like my relationships now kind of go the way that they do, because like there's just like I don't want to allow myself to be hurt like that again.
Man.
So it changes how I approach things.
Okay. You have that, and I think you have the same thing.
That
Will.
was good. man.
Trust. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, I wasn't planning on going here,
Okay.
but it seems to be that trust is a big issue, and it sounds like we tend to put it on the woman. Prove yourself trustworthy.
And then I'll go on.
Then I'll give you some time of day. Could it also be that maybe I have the trust issues?
Yeah.
You're not doing anything.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I just have this issue, and I'm gonna make you make my issue feel okay.
Yep.
And if you can't do that,
It's over.
I can't trust you.
Yeah.
Yo.
And honestly, I don't even want to say it's a trust thing. I think it's more so of a hurt thing. We haven't dealt with our hurt.
Right.
And so until we can deal with our hurt, we can't overcome it.
Yeah.
And so I think that's what the issue is. It's like we still carry this hurt. We still carry this burden. And because we haven't resolved this, I can't have a healthy relationship with you because I'm still dealing with this over here. So I can only give you 80% of me.
Right.
And I don't even want to give you that.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
man.
Yeah. So,
That's deep.
wow, man.
No, seriously, because I agree with
Yeah.
that on so many levels.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm telling you, even past the point of being her friend, and we started realizing, like, I never dealt with my hurt in a sense. So my qualifications was really like I said, based on my past hurt.
Yeah.
And it was times where I would see her doing certain things that my past hurt did to me.
Tapped into it.
It'll remind me of her and automatically come to a conclusion that this is where it's headed.
Yeah.
And I think it makes relationships for women a lot harder with men that have been hurt.
Yeah.
Because now it's like, if we're going to be in a relationship, you have to prove to me that you're not going to hurt me.
Right.
Therefore, you got to go out of your way. I need constant reminders. I need words of affirmation. I need all these
things,
things. So I'm
yeah.
putting that burden on you. And so for a woman, it's like, I don't want to prove I love you every day.
Yeah.
Like, they don't want to deal with that. So it's
Yeah.
like we're constantly at war with each other because I need you to do this to show that you're not going to hurt me. But it's like, I don't want to have to constantly prove myself to you.
Yeah. This discussion is not a common level of vulnerability that men often
No, it's not.
put out there for the world to
Yeah,
see.
yeah.
Because I think there's this misconception that men are emotionally cold. Like we can pretty much take anything emotionally, and we don't get hurt, and our hurt doesn't manifest itself. Like say a woman's hurt might manifest itself. Might not necessarily cry or isolate or be in the corner, but we might now change the way we're going to now approach you. Meaning we're going to set up, like you said, these different steps you have to go through, these different levels of requirements in order for us to feel safe.
Right.
Because basically that's what we want, right?
Right.
We want a relationship in which we can feel safe and comfortable.
Yeah.
And once that is gone, it's gone.
Yeah, we're going.
It's a done deal.
Yeah.
It's a done deal. So you would all agree that sometimes our own past and our own hurt affects the list that we have for women.
I definitely do.
Yeah.
I definitely really believe that, and it's terrible because it took for me, honestly, just being personal, it took for my mom, who's like in this beautiful relationship with this man, and she just married a couple years ago, and she did it the right way, you know. So I look at my mom like the prototype, like you got to be like my mom in a sense, right? And it took for my mom to actually be like, you know, I'm telling her like, yeah, like if she like blah blah blah, she does this, and she was like, "Are you serious?" And when she said that, I'm like, "Wait, I thought she agreed," you know, because I'm thinking in my mind I'm right. And she just started stripping. Like if I was with somebody like that, I wouldn't be able to handle it. I'm like, "Mom, what? What are you talking about?" You know,
from moms too.
Yeah, like that was deep for me, and it took for her, and I feel like I had to be God because it took for somebody that I looked at as a prototype to show me like, you're treating your like the actual thing the wrong way if the prototype is telling you it's wrong.
So how do you think going forward? Okay, you're already in a relationship. You may be or maybe not will be in one at some point. With this knowledge, now that we understand kind of what affects our list, how will that affect the way we approach a young lady, knowing that some of the things that we're requiring may not be things that they need to fulfill, because those are things that only God can fulfill in us. Like all that hurt from the past, that's something you got to take to the Lord. You can't take it to your fiance or future wife and say, fix this. This girl back there hurt me. You got to make sure that doesn't happen again, you know? Right. So how will that affect the way we approach a young lady like that?
I think, and how I approach it now, I think I have to be willing to kind of just be open about it. And like a lot of guys don't want to talk about past hurts or anything like that. Just being open about having that conversation and knowing that I know that puts a kind of some pressure on the relationship from her end. I need to be able to communicate that's what it does. And be knowledgeable that I'm doing that and kind of realize that I need to deal with this past hurt and actually make an effort to deal with it. But I think a lot of it, there's a responsibility on women too, honestly. I know I need to deal with my hurt. I know I need to kind of move away from having those insecurities. I know that. But I do think there's some pressure that is put on women that they have to help us through that process and show us how they can be trustworthy. And so when I talked about being like on my list or things I want and pray for, it's like someone that's a teacher, because there are going to be times where I need you to lead me through something. Like I might be dealing with something. I need you to pick that up for me.
Pause right there, because that's not a common concept that we put out there, that we might need our partner to lead us through something.
Yeah.
You feel the same way?
Oh, yeah. I never thought about that.
Explain. What do you mean? If you need your partner to lead you through something, explain what you mean.
I need you to, man, I never really looked at it like that, though, you know, because that's true. There's certain things that I can't get through on my own. Yeah. And I need you to be that extra to push me through it, you know what I mean?
And I think there's this assumption that we as men need to be able to do all things and lead in all areas, and I think that's something we aspire for. We want to be great leaders in every area of life. We want to be those things, but there are some areas that we're going to be weak in, and we need a partner that's going to come up and kind of support us in that area.
And what happens when you're weak and she exploits it? It taps right back into that
hurt, the
trust, the issue of I'm
Yeah.
gonna push you back because I'm trying to be vulnerable right now.
Right.
I'm weak.
And you took advantage of my vulnerability.
You play on my emotions, Smokey. Everybody won't get that reference.
Right.
But yeah, that's true. That's true. Sometimes we have areas of weakness that we can't necessarily manage on our own. And if we're going to have a partner, especially a wife, she's going to have to be able to not take advantage of that and say, look at you, you're sorry behind, you know, but be able to kind of build you up and say, yeah, man, I understand. It's all good. Let's walk this thing together. Or let me show you, you know? And we have to be okay with because that's another issue. We'll talk. But that's another issue about pride. We have to be okay with she's going to show me how to do this because I don't know.
Right.
You know? Because it's easy for us to be like, I know how to do it.
Yeah, no, seriously.
When you don't.
Yep.
Well, gentlemen, I think we are out of time. Thank you both for joining us on another episode of The Conversation. I have been AD. You've been watching The Conversation on P4CM. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't already, because it's awesome. God bless y'all.